So it's late afternoon out here in the woods, and I just finished up a day of doing some gear testing and recording a few review videos along the way. And I thought I'd just take a few moments before I put my gear back in the backpack to share with you my YouTube gear, what I'm actually recording my videos on. If you're interested, keep watching. So this video came about as a result of questions from viewers who have asked on and off at different videos what it is I use to record my videos on. And I thought this is as good a time as any to go through that. Now, what I'm going to have to do, of course, is I'm using part of my equipment to record myself right now, but in a moment I'll show you my backup equipment or my secondary equipment, and then I'll flip it out so I can show you what it is I'm using to record myself with now. Okay, so to start with, I started, 9 years ago maybe, on YouTube, and back then I used what I had available to me, which was a little point-and-shoot camera. I think it was a little tiny Canon camera, probably like 4 megapixel, so that really dates how far back it goes. It was able to shoot video. It did an okay job. Not really. It didn't last too long. I started looking for something else. My next camera was a Canon Vixia video camera that I bought secondhand off of Kijiji or eBay, I think Kijiji, and that worked for me for a number of years until it tipped over in the wind one day and it just stopped working after that. So it was time for me to go looking for another camera. So I was starting to make a little bit of money, and trust me, it's still only a little bit of money on YouTube. So I took some of the money that I had received through the YouTube partnership program and purchased a brand new Canon M50 camera. Now, the Canon M50 is primarily a camera that you use for taking pictures. It's not primarily a video camera, but it does have video capability. So I used that for a number of years and was very happy with it until, for some unknown reason that I still cannot explain, it started affecting the sound quality. I was not getting good sound quality anymore. So first thing I did is switched out the wireless microphone system that I was using, but it turned out it wasn't the microphone system at all, that it was in fact the camera. So I've retired that camera from video recording, but it still takes great pictures, so I still have it for that purpose. But I started looking at what else could I purchase that would work. So I had an opportunity at this point to buy something that was ideally suited for taking out here in the woods, an action camera. So that's what I ended up purchasing, was a DJI Osmo 3 action camera, and that's actually what I'm recording myself on right now. Now, the benefits of this are clear. It has, it's metal, it's small, it's lightweight, it's super tough. I bought a metal case for it. You'll see it when I take it off the tripod in a moment's time. And it's waterproof. It can actually be submerged underwater. I was always worried about my Canon M50 getting wet from the rain or the snow. That's why you'd never see videos of me using it in those conditions, because I didn't want to ruin the camera. Now I'm not so concerned about it with the action camera that I'm using to record this video. So that's what I purchased, and I've been very happy with it. Now, this is not a review of that camera. There's plenty of reviews out there. I will tell you that after a lot of consideration, I did not go with the Osmo Action 4, which was the newer. I think there may be even an Osmo Action 5 now. And I did not go with the GoPro. Based on any number of reviews I actually went backwards one generation to the Osmo Action 3, and that's what I went with. And like I said, I'm perfectly happy with it. Now, it has good sound quality all and of itself. It has a microphone on the front, it has a microphone on the rear, it knows where the sound is coming from, it'll cancel out the wind noise, but the sound quality isn't all that good. You do need to supplement the sound with some type of a microphone system. So that's the other thing I'm using, and people have probably taken notice of this over time. This is the Rode Wireless Go 2 wireless microphone system that you can plug into your camera and wear the other half of it. And for anybody that's considering getting into YouTube, especially working outdoors with the environment, you can never account for the noise, especially wind noise. You really want to get a wireless system. It's all important. I've heard people say to me in the past, people will forgive bad video, but they won't forgive bad sound. I can't tell you how many times before I bought this camera, people were telling me how bad the sound was coming out of my Canon M50. So do invest in a wireless microphone system. Again, not a review, but the one I chose is the Rode Wireless Go 2. and it's worked for me very well. There are other ones out there. There are less expensive ones. There are more expensive ones, but this is still working for me, so I don't see any reason to upgrade to anything else other than that. You could go with a wired in, what they call a wired lapel microphone. I did that, and with especially the old camera that I had, the Canon Vixia, it worked as long as I didn't forget that I was attached to the camera. And more often than not, I did. And I pull on it, the camera went over. I went through 2 or 3 of those microphones because I pulled the wires and they separated internally. Go with a wireless one. Even if it's going to cost you a little bit, it's worth your while to do that. Okay, that's half of my system. The other thing that I have that I can show you now is this. This is the Joby Gorilla Pod. This is the 3K version, one of their stronger ones. I think I had in a 1K, it's a smaller, lighter weight version of the same thing, and I think there's a 5K. Those are model names for it. The 3K was intended for my Canon M50. It is way more than I need for the Osmo Action 3 that I'm recording on right now in terms of weight, but it still works really well. So this goes with me all the time. I use it considerable amount of the time. I can attach it to a tree, a branch, whatever I want to, set it on a rock. It really works well when you're trying to get right down low next to something on the ground, like if I'm cooking or I have a stove or I'm doing something on the ground, then I can use this to get down there. It's invaluable. It really is to have some type of a tripod like this. It's small and lightweight. The other tripod, the one that I'm recording on, is also from Joby. This is, well, I'll get the name of it in a second and show it to you when I switch out to use this and the other thing I record on. And the other thing I'd record on is my cell phone. And if all you have is a cell phone, provided it is a relatively new generation cell phone, you can record all the YouTube videos that you ever wanted to do. Likely you have a cell phone already. My advice to you is if you're thinking to get into YouTube and making videos, start with your cell phone. Now, this is about 6 months old. This is the Samsung Galaxy F23 Lite? No, that's right. F23 something, F1 or something like that. So this is an F23. It's one of the newer generations Samsungs, but not the very top of the line. Man, is this ever a good camera on this for video. You get both the forward camera and the rear camera. I use both. It takes excellent pictures. It works well in all light conditions. It has good sound all by itself. It will accept my Rode Wireless Go 2 microphone system so that I can enhance the sound quality, and it's waterproof and relatively shockproof as well. So had I known that before I got the Osmo, I may not have even got the Osmo. That's how much I like using my telephone. But, you know, it's nice to have both. And the Action camera is still my preferred one, primarily for a number of reasons, such as waterproofness, durability, and, well, there's a lot of good reasons for choosing an Action camera because it has more features in terms of what you can do with it, in terms of quality of the picture and the like, than most phones do. This is pretty good though, just the same. Now, the other thing I want to show you is, this is a small bag that I carry all my recording equipment in, with the exception of the tripods. Yeah, everything goes inside this. I bought it's a shave kit bag. That's what it is, a very cheap, inexpensive shave kit bag, but it's nice that it contains everything in it. So there are a few more things in this that you should know about if you're going to start recording. Number one, the Osmo Action 3 has a mount that will work on my tripod, so that's great. But my cell phone, I needed a mount for it. So there is the mount. I don't even know if this has a name on it. Does this have a name on it? Oh, it doesn't. I'm not even sure. I got this off of Amazon. If I can find the links for it, I'll make sure that I put it in the video description. But these type of camera mounts work well. They can screw right on to whatever tripod you're using. This is using the Joby Pod adapter. I'll give you a better shot of that when I switch over to the other tripod. So that's there for my cell phone. This is a bag that I carry my Action camera in, and right now it has another battery in it. The first thing I learned is the battery life in the Osmo Action 3 is not very long. I immediately had to buy a second battery, and I may yet buy a third battery. The batteries aren't cheap, but it's worthwhile having a good, or a second and maybe even a third battery if you're relying on the Osmo Action 3. Optionally, you could do what I have done in this case, which is I always carry this along with me. This is my Claris K5 10,000 milliamp power bank, and this thing's amazing. IP68 waterproof rating, 1.5 meter drop rating, small, compact. I've got a review on this power bank, and I'll put a link to that review in my video description, but since I've gotten this one, it's come out with me all the time. Okay. Full disclosure, not this one. This is the second one that I've gotten. So the first one I carried for a long time. I used it quite a bit, and I must have done something to it I shouldn't have, because one day it stopped working. So I reached out to Claris, and they immediately sent me a replacement for it. In fact, this is their new version of the K5. I don't know that there's much different technically, but they said this one should work better, longer, and be more durable than the original K5. So I'll put links to this video where you can purchase this, or at least take another look at it, in the video description, as well as a link to the video review I have for it. And the other thing I take with me is this. This is the Wobin F5. This is an area light and a power bank and a number of other things all at the same time. This is something else I have a review on, but this thing has been very valuable. It has a magnetic on the back, it has a ring, you can use it in your tent for an area light. I like to carry this for use at nighttime. Now, that doesn't happen very often, but I can mount this on one of the two tripods and give myself light, and it actually has different color lighting as well, to light up the scene so that I can record at night. The other thing that has come in handy more than once is the fact that this is a power bank. In fact, today, of all days when I come out and I had this equipment with me, and maybe this is the reason I decided to make this video, for some reason, the last time I used my system, I failed to recharge my Rode Wireless Go. I went to record some videos today, and they were dead. Fortunately, I had this, and I had the K5. I plugged both of them into the mic and the receiver, and about a half hour later, they were up at well over half charge, enough for me to make a few videos with. So it pays to have a power bank and or a lighting system that is also a power bank at the same time. Okay, not much left to do except for me to turn this camera off, set the cell phone up, and then I can show you the Osmo Action 5 and the Joby tripod that it's setting on. All right, I'm starting the second portion of this video off on my cell phone, but I don't have the wireless microphone plugged into it just yet, only because I wanted to show you the other part of the Rode Wireless Go 2. So that's the receiver portion that plugs into either my DJI Osmo Action 3 or the cell phone. So I'm going to plug it into the cell phone now, and there. I don't know if it's making a huge difference, but yeah, maybe you'll be able to tell. I'll know once I get to editing. We're going to talk about editing as well in a moment. All right, now what I want to do is just show you the rest of my gear. So this is the camera I've been talking about. This is the DJI Osmo Action 3, and I have it in a aluminum shock case because the camera is actually smaller than what you're looking at. And I did this for a couple of reasons. I bought this. This is made by the company Tellison cage, that's what it is. A couple of reasons. It does give it bump protection. If I drop it, the cage is going to take the impacts, but also it provides me two places that I can attach things like the receiver on this, or lighting. There's what they call a cold shoe here and a cold shoe here. So it just gives me a couple spots that I can put some attachments to it. Yeah, so that's the cage. Now, this is the other thing I want to show you. This is actually goes with the Joby Gorilla Pod. It's just screwed into the bottom of the camera mount right now. And this is a big part of why I like the Joby Gorilla Pods and the Joby tripod that I have, is because I can visually see whether or not I'm level when I'm recording, just like that. So even the Gorilla Pod is wrapped around a tree branch right now, and I've got it leveled, so it helps with the leveling of the image as well. So that's just one of the reasons. So that's a feature to look for regardless of what you're going to buy. Now, here is the other tripod. So this is the Joby Action tripod. The name will be in the video description. Maybe I can put it across the screen right now. What I like about this is when I put the camera on like this, it will snap into place. So it's a removable mount, so you can see how that goes on like this. It's a pistol grip, which allows me, now I usually face it towards myself, so I have the pistol grip facing me so I can manipulate it, and then I can change the camera positioned on, because it rides on a ball right down here. And the rest of it is, it has an extension that, well, I'm going to clamp it down anyway just to get ready for transport, and clamps that down. It has multiple sections. It has 1, 2, 3, 5 sections that allow it to, well, let me take it right down to its smallest so you get an idea just how small this actually is when it's all compacted up. All right, one more, probably 2 more. There we go. And that one. All right, so there's the tripod completely brought down to its smallest. I'll put the weight and the size and the dimensions and the links where you can get another look at this if you're interested. I was using another tripod which worked. It was a much less expensive aluminum tripod, and again it worked, but it wouldn't get up to full height. If I wanted to record myself standing, I either had to put it on a rock or kneel down, or more often than not I just used the Gorilla Pod wrapped around a branch in order to get that image. So this is much nicer. I can use this anywhere. Its balance is off. I don't have to adjust each leg to try to get the thing to sit and balance. Having that pistol grip mounted on a ball, you know, so it gives me complete customization of how it's going to sit. All right, so this is the system that I'm using for recording videos for YouTube. Now, that's only half of it. Once you've got your video recorded, you then have to prepare it before you upload it to YouTube. So you need editing software. My first 2 editing softwares were Adobe Premiere Elements. Yeah, Adobe Premiere Elements, and I used 2 different versions of that. And finally, I found that it was not doing the trick for me. It just didn't, actually, it wouldn't handle the 4K that the Action camera will put out. It just wouldn't take that density. So I looked around and I did watch some reviews, and I invested in a film editing program that you rent, is the best way to say it. You pay a yearly fee to get this, and it works out very well. It's the Wondershare Filmora version 14. Version 14 just came out, and that's what I've used to record my videos. So this would be recorded on that afterwards. The amount of options that it gives to you, it's at a professional level, way more than I'll ever make use of. It even has AI to help you resolve issues that you can't figure, like noise reduction and the like. So hopefully in the last 5 or 6 months, my sound quality has been much better because of that. Actually, just the setup I'm using right now, the cell phone and this microphone, do most of it, but I can actually custom the sounds. And if there's any background noise, like there's been a small plane flying around overhead, I could probably take that out of the video if I wanted to. All right, so that's everything I'm using to record my YouTube videos. And again, I wanted to bring that to you to show you that you do not have to invest thousands of dollars in order to make YouTube videos. What you're watching right now is being done on my Samsung cell phone. I do have a wireless microphone. I really recommend you buy one, either the Rode or the DJI version, which is more expensive, or there are any number of good wireless systems out there which will do a good job of recording your voice. It makes a huge difference in the audio quality, especially when it's windy out, and that's when you really need this type of a system to work for you. And getting back from, like if I walk back, you know, as far as you can see me, you'll still be able to hear me because of the wireless connection between us. Okay. That's everything I wanted to show you. Again, not reviews of the equipment. What is it, the E1 or the E? Yeah, the Woven. I have a review on that. I'll put that in the video description. The Claris K5 power bank, I have a review of that. I'll put that in the video description if you're interested. Any questions you might have, give me those, or comments you have, or suggestions you think I might want to consider. Put those all in the comments section. But until next time, get out and explore and take that path less traveled, because it will make all the difference. Bye for now.